Hello everyone, Half Jojo. Here again. I'm gonna be doing some more like health at every size slash fat acceptance videos, trying our best to just kind of explain why it's a load of shit and stuff like that. In case you haven't noticed, I've been feeling a little bit ill the past few days, so my voice sounds a bit off, and if I sound a bit sniffly or if I just look rough in general, it's because I've been sick for a couple of days. Well, I'm getting better, recovering, and also I'll show you something here. I've got to take my headphones off, so I've done something with my hair, as you can see. I can't really rotate around in this chair. This chair's a bit shit, but yeah, I thought I'd fucking try and tie it up, because I'm at an awkward stage where I'm growing it, so I can't cut it because then it won't grow, so therefore I can't really style it all that much, so it's looking a little bit fucking rough at the moment. But anyway, without any further ado, let's get into our first fucking video before I start ranting about hair for too long, okay? So as we can see here, it's in response to a comment left on this person's video. We watched a video from this person in the previous one, which I completely disagreed with and everything like that. But anyway, the comment says, I'm curious about health at every size as a concept. Like even with a BMI under 18 or over 40, maybe you can make a video expanding on it. I've been seeing content more a blah blah blah, it cuts off there kind of thing. So basically this person is a bit like me, and I think most of you, where they're like, I don't fucking understand how this works. It's kind of a load of toss, really. As a concept, it's a bit wild, doesn't really make much sense, and yeah, I completely don't understand it either. So without any further ado, let's get into it and see how this individual explains it.
What's health at every size? I've heard about it, but I don't know anything about it. Yeah, basically it means that everyone deserves care and respect no matter what their size is. It doesn't.
But that's not really what it means, right? Because, I mean, what's the point? Instead of calling it health at every size, why not call it care at every size at that point? It has nothing to do with respecting people or seeing people as individuals or whatever the fuck it, and everything to do with the fact that people are trying to cope with the fact that they're overweight. I will say this, and hear me out. You can get a fat person on side A that's healthier than a fat person on side B. That is true, obviously. There's a fat person who works out, who might walk a lot, who might do a run occasionally, and there's a fat person here who just sits on their ass and eats all day. Person A is going to be a lot healthier in general, but however, person A who might run a lot, they might walk a lot, they might work out a lot, is not going to be as healthy as person C, who's at a normal healthy weight and does all of those things and eats properly and etc etc. Person A is still going to have the detrimental effects of being obese and stuff like that, not only the health effects but also, you know, things like the mental health effects and all that shit as well. Different things that, like, you can even get what's it called, it can affect your skin and stuff like that. You're more prone to things like acne and etc etc. Basically, person C is less likely to experience that because they're at a healthier weight, and obesity, as we know, affects a lot of things in your life. But yes, person A who is obese but works out a lot is going to be healthier than person B, but that's still kind of like comparing complete dog shit to someone who's trying to at least improve themselves, right? But obviously if person A stays fat, regardless of how much they work out, they're still going to have a lot of detrimental effects down the line from being obese, especially as they get older. But it's just less so than person B, I guess. But that's still not really healthy, it's just healthier, right?
It doesn't center weight loss or weight gain as a measure of health.
But there is a measure of health. If you're gaining like a lot of weight and really fast, then that's probably not healthy. Same as if you're losing weight like really fast as well, that's also not very healthy.
The best in your body without having to postpone your happiness for some future goal.
But like, your future goal could lead to your happiness though. I mean, and again, with this whole thing saying, oh, I'm fat and happy, is that a lot of fat people just aren't happy, and I think a good 90% of them aren't happy with the way they are. Of all the fat people that I've talked to, and even myself and everything like that, I've always expressed the wish to lose weight, getting healthier, stuff like that. A lot of them don't end up doing it, but at least a lot of them express that they want to. Therefore, they can't be very happy with the way they are then, can they? I just think it's a bit of a cope. I don't think anyone is happy being fat. Let's be honest. Like, it's not really a thing that even a lot of fat people really want to be. No one's happy being overweight. It's not fun at all. There's like no positive aspects about it at all, really. Like, I can't even think of one.
Oh, gotcha. I'm surprised that I haven't heard about it, because it says here that it was developed in the 1990s. Yeah, but
I mean, there's a reason why it wasn't that popular at all in the 90s, because yes, a lot more people were getting fatter in the 90s and early 2000s and stuff like that, but it was still increasingly like less common for a lot of people to be that overweight in the 90s and the early 2000s. It has generally been within the last 20-30 years or so. Everything's ramping up. I know the early 2000s is within the last 20-30 years, but you get what I mean. Like, people in 2003 were not as fat as people in 2025, just put it that way.
ideas and concepts themselves were born out of the civil rights movements in the 1960s. And I'm not surprised that you
Again, like a lot of other kind of fat acceptance, health at every size kind of people, is, again, comparing obesity to things like civil rights, you know, comparing obesity to things like women's rights. For some fucking reason, I've said this time and time again, for some reason a lot of health at every size, a lot of fat acceptance people always love fucking comparing themselves to minorities, to people with disabilities, to fucking, I don't know, women and stuff like that, oh, women's rights and stuff like that. It's like, they're not fucking comparable. Because, you know, you can't choose the sex you're born with, you can't choose your ethnicity, and you can't choose the fact whether you're disabled or not, right? But you can absolutely fucking choose to be overweight and not do anything about it. So just try and compare being obese to being black, being a woman, being fucking disabled is a bit just absolutely insane in my opinion. It really, really fucking is insane in my opinion. It baffles me. It really does.
And I'm not surprised that you haven't heard about it, because it's not really selling a quick fix that people are looking for.
I mean, but it is selling a quick fix. That is quite literally the definition of a quick fix. You're overweight and you struggle with losing weight, then forget about losing weight and just be fat and accept it. That is quite literally the fucking quick fix. That is the easy way out. The easy way out of taking responsibility for your own weight is just to sit there and be like, oh fuck, well I can't change it, so oh well. I'll guess I won't then.
You mean like the lose 20 pounds in 20 days kind of stuff? Yep, since weight loss like that is short term and doesn't usually last long,
yeah.
Health at every size is more...
I mean, yeah, that is true. That kind of stuff is bollocks, and you shouldn't be doing stuff like that. You should absolutely be pushing for a lifestyle change, but you shouldn't then sit here and be like, oh, okay, so basically these fad diets and these fad kind of workouts and stuff like that aren't working for me, so I'm just going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm perfectly healthy the way I am, or even though I'm fucking like 200 pounds or 100 kilograms overweight or whatever. Like, yeah, that's not really how it works.
Focused on long-term health benefits. I can boil it down to about 5
long-term health benefits? There are no long-term health benefits to being overweight. There's just only long-term detriments to being overweight.
easy ideas. Here. Oh, you don't have to be skinny to be healthy.
Well, everyone knows that. Like, you don't have to be skinny to be healthy. That's true, and not everyone wants to be skinny. And I don't get this mindset that a lot of obese people have, that I've seen around me in real life too. And I've seen people talk about weight loss in my real own personal experience. They always be saying like, oh, you know, this person's getting too skinny, when they're fucking not. They've just lost weight and they look like a normal fucking person. Not everyone's trying to be skinny. Being not fat doesn't make you skinny. That's not how it fucking works. That's just stupid, really. Not everyone who's trying to lose weight is trying to be skinny, and not everyone who has lost weight is skinny, and not everyone who's not fat is skinny. They're just fucking normal, and you're just obese. That's just how it works.
Bodies come in all shapes and sizes, like these Olympic athletes.
I mean, obviously people come with all different sizes and shapes like that. Some people are born taller, some people are more broad, but you can't sit here and say, like, for example, you see over here, I'm pointing my mouse cursor, that person there is obviously overweight. Right. Oh, but they're an athlete. They probably do, like, what, fucking powerlifting or some shit. It's still not healthy. Don't get me wrong. A lot of strong men and stuff are ridiculously, like, really, really fucking strong. But a lot of them are massively, massively overweight, and it's not really healthy at all.
Whoa, what a range. Alright. Real health.
But also, No one's arguing that people with different heights and people that are born in different builds can't be healthy. That's just not how it works. We're talking about obese people or normal weight people comparatively. Someone who's obese is not going to be nowhere near as healthy as someone who's just a fucking regular, average, normal fucking weight, a normal BMI.
It's about caring for your body, feelings, community, and food. We've got tons of studies that prove that it's not just about your individual health and your mentality. It's also about your community, your environment, the kinds of foods that you're able to have access to, let alone the kinds of food that you eat.
Right. I don't get it. What does that have to do with health at any size, though?
Makes sense with all the food deserts.
Like, yes, there are food deserts and stuff, and people who exist in food deserts are still overeating and they're still obese. But I don't get what the point is. That's not healthy, is it?
Stuff, and like any poor person can tell you how hard it is to get nutritious food.
I mean, yes, but if you really wanted something badly, you would kind of go out your way for it. 100%. I'm not doubting that places like this don't exist, because I know there are places like this. There are food deserts and stuff. Where also people who come from like food desert-y kind of areas who go out of their way to find the right things to eat and stuff like that because they want to make the change for themselves for the better.
Let's see. Doctors shouldn't treat you poorly because of your size.
Obviously, doctors shouldn't treat you poorly because of your size, but I know a lot of overweight people, for example, think that the doctor's treating them poorly because of their size when the doctor tells them, look, your fucking knee's fucked. You've come to me because you said your knee's hurting. You should probably try and lose the weight, you know? Like, and a lot of obese people get like offended by this. It's like, at the end of the day, maybe you should just listen. I know not everything comes down to your weight or whatever, and also I will agree that sometimes doctors do kind of ignore a lot of problems that some obese people have because, you know, they're like, oh, just lose weight, blah, blah, blah. So there might be something a bit more kind of deep going on that they're not really taking into account. I know that does happen. I'm not denying that. But on the other hand, a lot of problems that obese people have is to do with their obesity. If they did lose fucking weight, they would have a better time fucking sleeping. Their knees won't hurt as much, their joints won't hurt as much, their heart won't be palpitating as much, you know, maybe their breathing would be better, or whatever the fuck problem you've got going on probably does link back to your obesity. All of my fucking problems that I had going on when I was obese, like the breathing and stuff like that, and not sleeping as good, was to do with the fact that I was fucking obese. Like, it's just how it is. Like, and a lot of the problems that I had have got better since I've stopped being fat. It's just, maybe you should try it out. That's all I'm saying. And the doctor's saying that too, because they're probably fucking right. It doesn't go for everything, but you should probably fucking try it, right?
I think that's a given, right? Yeah, and yet research
Yeah,
shows
that is a given. Yeah. But obviously, like we said, some doctors can be pricks about it.
Doctors ignore fat patients' concerns, leading to worse health outcomes and delayed health care.
Yeah, like I said, it does happen, so I'm not going to deny that. It doesn't happen all the time, and because a lot of the time, let's be honest, a lot of obese people will come into doctors with problems that generally are to do with their obesity, such as, you know, joint, maybe they got like fucking problems, they're breathing, blah blah blah, etc, etc, but they're just not doing anything about it because they want to point the fingers at anything else, because before, a lot of fat people would admit that their obesity is a problem, they'd want to point a finger at everything else and deny it until it gets to a point where they're like, fuck me, maybe it actually is. I've been there. A lot of us have been there.
Ooh, yeah, and compound that with like the medical bias for women and people of color. Ooh.
I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to comment on that. I just know about the fat people, bro. Come on now.
Ooh, okay. Eat food that makes you feel your best. No strict...
Eat food that makes you feel your best. Like, what? Fucking burgers and hot dogs, cake and stuff like that might make you fucking feel nice up here for like all of 10 minutes, but then you get all sorts of fucking shit going on down here, you get me? It doesn't make you feel your best, it makes you feel your fucking worst, but it makes you feel your best for a couple minutes because it tastes nice, you get a bit of a dopamine rush for it. I mean, this is how like food addiction starts, because a lot of people are eating shit that makes them quote unquote feel good at the time, but then they get really obese and it doesn't make you feel fucking good then, does it?
Dieting. When you
And what is strict dieting though? Because again, a lot of obese people like to say, "Oh, calorie deficit is a fucking ED or whatever," and, "Oh, it's really strict" and stuff like that. It's like it's fucking not though. It's just kind of standard. A lot of people do it. It's just the best way of losing weight or the best way of maintaining weight. And even people track their food when they're gaining weight and stuff like that. It's not really strict or restrictive or anything like that, and it's not an ED. I'd say that you're the one who has the ED if you are massively, massively overweight. That's just how it works.
on restrictive diets, your body resists. It increases your hunger hormone.
Yeah, that is how it works because it's not used to it. If you are obese and you start eating a lot of food or a lot of the wrong types of food and stuff like that, and then you start going on a weight loss journey, things like your metabolism starts dropping down because you're gaining less and less weight. You're losing more and more weight even, and obviously the types of food that you're eating has changed, so your body starts to go a bit like, oh, what the fuck, this is different. So yes, your body does initially resist it, but that's why you keep going, and then your body adapts to the changes, and then it starts to fucking restart itself, and you become healthier as it goes. At first, your hunger hormones and stuff might run a bit haywire because you're used to that fast dopamine hit and stuff like that, but you get used to it over time. It is not a fucking bad thing. It is actually really fucking normal for your body to be a bit like, oh shit, what's this? And your metabolism to go down. Because fun fact, a lot of fucking people say this all the time, especially overweight people. They're like, oh, my metabolism's really slow. Not fucking true at all. If you're obese, your metabolism is way higher than a skinny person, right? You, as an overweight person, a massively fucking morbidly obese person, I'm gonna have a BMR of like 3,000, which is a whole lot more, you know? You could literally be resting and burn more calories than that skinny person will in a fucking week, you know? That's just how it works. Your metabolism isn't slow, it's actually really fast.
It decreases your metabolism rate.
Yeah, which is a good thing, because that means you're losing weight. That's not a bad thing.
Slows down your rate of weight loss and encourages...
Yeah, that's something else that does happen as you lose weight. Your weight loss starts to slow down because you're losing more and more weight. Your body does resist it, but that's where you either cut further or you work out more and stuff like that. That's just generally how it works. Like when I was first cutting down, when I was 152 kilos, which is really fucking heavy, like 300 or so pounds or whatever, I was initially eating like 3,000 calories a day and I was losing weight. But then as I lost more and more weight, that wouldn't cut it anymore. So I had to go down to like 2,500, and I went down to 2,000, and I went down to like 1,700 and stuff like that. You know, you have to gradually decrease it as you lose more and more weight. So that is incredibly, that is just normal, and that is how it works.
Weight gain. And the more you try to do the restrictive dieting, the worse your health outcomes become. Restrictive diet.
Wait, what's that?
Slows down your rate of weight loss and encourages weight gain.
It doesn't encourage weight gain. Like, you're just not counteracting it by either cutting further or increasing your activity output. It's not like, oh, your metabolism gets to this point and then it's like, oh, do you know what? I'm gonna play silly buggers, put on weight. Like, that's generally not how it works. It just means that you are stuck at this point and you're a bit of a plateau. And to get past that plateau, you either need to dig deeper by lowering your calories even more, or again, increasing your activity output, which is something that I've had to learn, and pretty much everyone else who's also lost weight has also had to learn.
And the more you try to do the restrictive dieting, the worse your health outcomes come.
Not entirely true, like, at all. Yes, if you keep going fucking up and down like yo-yo dieting, like if you're one of those people who's like, oh, I need to lose 25 pounds to get into my wedding dress, and then as soon as they have their wedding, they fucking pile the weight back on, and then they're like, oh, I'm getting fat now, so I have to lose it again, and then they lose it, and then they pile it back on. You get what I mean? Yes, that will generally make your health outcome worse, but I would still fucking argue that if you're a person that yo-yos around quite a lot, you're still going to be healthier than someone who remains at like 300 pounds for fucking 10 plus years. At least you're losing weight. At least you're doing something about it. Even if you pile it back on a little bit, you know, it's still going to be healthier than someone who remains the same stagnant bullshit and probably has all sorts of stuff going on with their joints because they've been the same weight and it's been weighing down on them for 10 plus years and stuff like that.
So if you eat food that makes you feel good and is the best for your body,
like what? Fruit, you know, vegetables, protein, stuff like that, complex carbohydrates, or you know, stuff like that. What are you talking about here? Or are you just talking about food that you like? For example, oh, I like this food, therefore it feels right for my body, rather than this food is objectively healthier and makes my body feel good because I'm not fucking huffing and puffing when I walk up the stairs and stuff.
then you have way more positive health outcomes. And I'm not talking about like eating burgers and pizza every single day.
Like
But
what
that
then?
doesn't mean that you have to avoid them.
Yeah, I will agree. That doesn't mean you have to avoid them completely, but if you want to be healthier, then you don't fucking eat these things every day or every couple days. You know, you might only eat it once every couple months, for example. You know.
Either. Everything in moderation.
Yeah, everything in moderation. I do agree with that.
And it sounds like it's a lot easier to maintain too.
Of course, it's easier to maintain if you're overweight because all you got to just keep eating. I will say, like I've been saying, I've been struggling to get my calories when I'm maintaining. So occasionally I do eat a little bit of junk food just to boost my calories, and I know it's not ideal, but I still adhere to mainly, like, I think it's like the 80-20 rule where you eat like 80% of the good shit and you eat 20% of the bad shit. So my whole day consists of whole foods.
So the last one is do movement that is fun and feels good for your body.
Of course, everyone can agree with that one, right, though? I mean, if you don't like weightlifting and you're trying to be healthy, then maybe it might not be for you. Although I would argue that resistance training is really actually important for everyone, especially if you're like a woman getting between like the age of 40 onwards, because you can develop like osteoporosis a lot more and stuff like that. You can, unfortunately, it's very common in women where as they get older their bones start to become a bit more less I think it's less dense and stuff like that, and they're more prone to breakage and the shit like that. That's awful. You get more arthritis and shit. So I would definitely encourage that, particularly again if you're a woman approaching their like 40s or 50s. But for everyone in general, even men and stuff like that, just resistance training is ideal in terms of longevity of like your physical body, like your bones and your muscles and stuff. But obviously cardio again is also really, really fucking important for your heart and your organs and stuff like that.
There's a lot of moralizing about what kind of movement people should and shouldn't be doing, but like
I mean, all sorts of movements good in any capacity, really. Obviously, there are some exercises and stuff which are completely not bollocks, but any kind of movement's better than no movement, right?
It's come in all types of shapes and sizes, and mobility as well. It's more important that you enjoy that kind of movement, because then you can stick to it longer.
That's definitely true. I do agree with that. That is something that I encourage as well. If there's like a particular sport or type of training that you prefer doing over another, and stick to that. But I would again suggest at least do some cardio or resistance training, because it does really massively help in terms of longevity and shit like that.
All of this sounds really good. Why are people so up in arms about it?
Because that's not what a lot of people mean when they say health at every size. Because what a lot of people mean at health at every size is they mean I'm overweight. I don't want to do anything about it, so I just want to sit here and cope about the fact that I'm actually really healthy. Oh, I actually do a couple walks here and there, and I lift a couple weights, even though I'm fucking 400 pounds, so I'm like really healthy, guys. You're not, okay? Being overweight is still massively fucking unhealthy in comparison to being a normal weight, okay? I don't understand why this is like such a controversial thing to say nowadays, but someone who's 400 pounds is not healthy. Yes, they could be healthier than someone who's 500 pounds, but they're still not healthy as compared to someone who's like a fucking 150 pounds, is it? Like, come on, let's be for real right now.
Mostly because it's not profitable. Like, the weight loss industry is $160 billion.
I mean, you say it's not profitable, but what's like the most fucking like highest earning industries out there? Food, fast food, and all this ultra processed bullshit is way higher than like the health market. 100%. You know how much McDonald's make a year? It's absolutely insane. You know, shit like that. It's massively more profitable to encourage obesity than it is to encourage being healthy. I think that's a bit of a cope.
These shame-based exercise solutions only damage health.
What shame-based exercise solutions? What, telling people being obese isn't healthy and that they should lose weight? That's not shaming anyone. That's just a fucking fact. Like, there's a difference between saying to someone like, look, obesity is not good. I've noticed, maybe you've gained a bit of weight. That's fine. We can get you back on the horse. Fucking, we're gonna crush this. We're gonna lose weight, and you're gonna be feeling the best you've ever felt. There's a difference between saying that and being like, haha, you're fat, fucking fatty, fat. Lose weight, fatty. Obviously there's a difference between the two approaches. I just don't understand how straight up kind of like the health and supplements industry being a $1.32 billion industry is shaming anyone, for example. I just don't understand that. I mean, yes, you can say over the years there have been absolute fucking bullshit products and bullshit exercises and diets that have come out in like the 80s and 90s that are like, oh, fucking jazzercise or whatever the fuck, stuff like that. It's all bollocks, right? Everyone knows that. Even back in the day, people probably thought it was fucking bollocks. But yeah, anyway.
Long term. So people will keep coming. Damage health. Based exercise solutions only damage health long term.
I would like to see some examples of these exercise solutions that damage your health long term. I generally can't think of many kind of exercises at all that are gonna quote damage your health long term. I mean, unless you're doing like fucking deadlifts or squats of really shit form, then maybe that'll damage your health long term, but I can't think of anything else.
So people will keep coming back for more of the solutions, spending more money. Well, if you move to a care-based solution, all of that kind of crumbles. So
a care-based solution, but that's not a solution. Telling people that you're perfectly fine as you are is not a solution. I know people are going to be like, oh, but that's not what health at every size means, but it fucking is, because that's what everyone kind of preaches when it comes to health at every size. A lot of fucking people try and say, oh, take up space and stuff like that as a bit of a fucking cope. They're basically saying, yes, you're fine as you are, but it's not fine though, is it? Telling people, oh yeah, just stick the way you are, you'll be perfectly fine in fucking 20 years time is not good when it comes to being obese and stuff. Let's be for real. I would argue that it's the opposite of like a care kind of based thing or whatever. I'd argue that it's not fucking caring about someone's health at all. Like, it really is. Because if you really cared about someone's health and they were obese, you'd tell them, like, look, you've got to fucking lose weight. Let's be for real. But I don't know if any of you watching actually like know many obese people and stuff, but trust me, when you try and tell someone who's not in good shape that they're in a bad way, they don't fucking listen. It has to come around like of their own accord. Like, you can tell someone over and over again, you're getting overweight, I noticed that it's really impacting your life, you need to make a change. They're not going to listen to you. They're going to have to come about it of their own accord, and it might take some time, but hopefully they will. But unfortunately, with some people, they don't ever fucking come around, and they before it's too late, and it is fucking unfortunate. But there's not much we can do in that aspect. There's only so much we can tell them, like, fucking do something about it. Just real quick before we continue this here video, make sure that if you like this kind of content and everything like that, to make sure you subscribe and like it, and maybe leave us a comment for the algorithm and stuff like that, because we are almost at 1,000 subs. I'm at like 940-ish or something like that. I can't wait until we reach 1,000. It's gonna be crazy. I really appreciate it, genuinely. Thank you so much, and I'm gonna continue on with the video. But yeah, I've ranted about that one for so long. I've just kind of looked at the recording and I've already done like half an hour, 40 minutes of footage for that one. But like I said, I'm a bit ill, so I'm probably a bit overly kind of ranty and stuff like that, because my brain's a bit all over the place still. But I'm gonna have to cut down on some of the stuff. Okay, we've got another one here. Again, I haven't watched this one, so we're gonna go through it ourselves and see what it's about.
If you've spent any time in anti-diet spaces on the internet, you've probably heard the term.
I haven't. I mean, even at my biggest, I didn't like do anything like that. I was never like one of those anti-diet type of people or anything like that. I've always been one of those fat people who've always wanted to lose weight, but just never really knew what to do, or never really had the discipline to do it. But or the willpower and stuff like that. But now I'm just like, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm perfectly capable of doing it all myself now.
Health at Every Size, or HAES.
Yep.
HAES is a
Transdisciplinary framework. Don't know what that means. Big words. Whoa, fucking hell.
framework that aims to shift the focus from weight loss to health promotion.
But again, weight loss is health promotion. Like, if you're fucking 400 pounds, it's not promoting health, is it? If you are 400 pounds and go down to like fucking 200, then that's promoting health, you get me? But obviously you want to be less than 200, especially if you're like 5'5" or something, right? You know. But yeah,
the basic premise is that we should be promoting health behaviors for people
of all sizes without focusing on weight. That's where we line the problem, is that you're not going to focus on the health of people if they are fucking overweight, or even if they're underweight. But the thing is, a lot of these health at every size people would turn their fucking nose up at people who are underweight. They would look at someone who is actually like genuinely skinny and not just a not obese person, like someone who's genuinely skinny. They fucking turn their nose up at it. They fucking hate people who aren't like them. A lot of these health at every size people, a lot of these fat acceptance people fucking despise skinny people. They really do. They genuinely hate them with a passion. And I don't know why. It's probably a fucking jealousy thing, right? Let's be honest. It's more than likely a jealousy thing. But regardless of that, it's not about every size though, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's just about obese people. And it's always been about obese people. Because you could go up to any of these people and ask them, is this person over here who's chronically fucking underweight healthy? They're gonna say no. They're gonna fucking say no. But when it comes to me, a fucking 500 pound 5'5" woman, I'm fucking perfectly healthy. But obviously that other woman over there who's like less than 100 pounds, she's like really quite skinny, she's like 5'9" and she's really underweight, she's really unhealthy, she should eat some burgers, you know? Like, yeah, of course, that's generally the case though, isn't it? I've always seen it around.
Of all sizes without focusing on weight.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Weight loss
Okay.
may or may not occur if health behaviors are promoted in people in larger bodies.
Well, weight loss will occur if you're focusing on health, if you're overweight. Like, if you're someone who's an average size, an average BMI, an average body fat percentage, then weight loss may or may not occur. Yes, because they're probably eating for the right amount of calories, the right amount of macronutrients and stuff for their body and stuff. But if someone who is obese is eating healthy for their body, then they will be losing weight. If someone who is underweight is eating healthy for their body, they will be gaining weight. Let's be for real right here. We want to go to that healthy in between. We want to go for a normal fucking size. We do not want to go obese, and we don't want to go too skinny. I don't know how it's not so hard to understand. We want to go for, if you're an active person, you want to go for fit and athletic. If you're not an active person, you just want to go for fucking normal, you know? Like, come on.
If health behaviors are promoted in people in larger bodies.
But if you're still the same weight after years and years of quote-unquote eating healthier and working out and stuff, then you're not actively promoting healthier behaviors. You're just staying the fucking same. You're probably not sticking to this quote-unquote health behavior. You're probably still eating the same shit, but you're just eating a few more grapes or something than you were before.
HAES is standard practice in the ED field.
It shouldn't be standard practice because it's just wrong to promote it to people. It's wrong to tell people who are morbidly obese that, oh, you're perfectly healthy at your size. You know, stuff like that. It's just wrong.
ED field, and there's been several clinical trials that have compared HAES to traditional obesity management.
What's traditional obesity management then? What does that even mean? Like what even is that? I just, you know, you're gonna have to explain that to me because it doesn't make sense to me. Obesity management, do you mean trying to lose weight, or do you mean just staying the same?
Management. The results of these randomized control trials tends to find clinically significant and statistically significant.
I don't understand significant and statistically significant results for what? For weight loss? For weight gain? For staying the fucking same? And I know a lot of these people in like the health at every size fat acceptance people like to bring up blood work all the time, but yes, just because your blood work might be fine, it doesn't mean that your lungs not 2 minutes away from collapsing. Yes, your blood work might be fine, but it doesn't mean you haven't got brain damage or something, for example, right? Like, yes, your blood work might be perfectly fine, but you're still not going to be healthy internally. You get what I'm trying to say? Your blood work might be perfectly fine, but everything else might be wrong with you.
Significant results. These results indicate that HAES is related to improved physiological outcomes.
Like what?
Like blood pressure.
Blood pressure, okay, again, your blood pressure could be fine, but you could have so many different things wrong with you.
As well as improved health behaviors like exercise, as well as improved psychological
health, like exercise and stuff like that. Of course, it's good that people get more exercise in and stuff like that. I don't understand what this is generally about, because you're trying to say that this is all down to health at every size. It's fucking not. It's down to eating better and exercising. And that is not what health at every size promotes. Health at every size generally tends to promote that people who are 400 pounds can be just as healthy as someone who's not 400 pounds. It's just not how it works.
You don't need to focus on weight loss to improve health.
I mean, you kind of do if you're really fucking fat. To say that you don't need to focus on weight loss to improve health is true to a certain extent if you're not fucking fat. Or underweight. If you are like, again, 400, 500 pounds, then being healthy would mean losing fucking weight. If you are a person who is like 150, 175 pounds or something like that, then you're probably fine as you are. I don't know. I actually don't know like about pounds and stuff. I only know kilograms. But if you're a man who's like 70, 75, 80 kilograms, you're probably fine. Like, that's kind of a normal, healthy fucking weight for a man. But if you're a man who's like fucking 150 to 200 kilograms, then obviously being that size is not fucking healthy, and losing weight would mean health in that context. But this is where the thing that fails when it comes to health at every size is that it's all about fucking context. It's all to do with context. Someone who is, again, 75 kilograms is going to be way healthier than someone who is, again, 200 to 450 kilograms. And obviously, if you're overweight, then you're putting too much strain on your body, you're more likely to get certain diseases, blah, 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 etc., so on and so forth. All that fucking bullshit, all the usual spiel. But no, here we are, again saying that, oh, you know, being healthy does not mean weight loss, when it does, depending on the right fucking context, again. Okay, so we've got one more going on here. This person doesn't seem to be overweight, so let's see what they have to say about health for every size, and shall we? It's always interesting when you see people who aren't fucking fat and stuff trying to defend like people being overweight and shit. So let's get into it.
Assuming that someone in a smaller body is healthy. Not cool.
I mean, it's not entirely true. Someone who's smaller might also suffer from a bunch of health problems, but you know that someone who's an average weight is not suffering from their health problems because of their weight. That's the difference, right? Surely everyone understands that by now. Is that if you get two people, again, the 75 kilogram man versus 150 kilogram man, the person who's 75 kilogram who has a heart problem, it does not have the heart problem because of their weight, whereas the person who is 150 might have a heart problem because of their weight. It's not guaranteed, but it's more likely that they will if they are a heavier weight.
Assuming that someone in a larger body is unhealthy. Also very inaccurate.
Well, it's not inaccurate though, is it? Because it's not healthy to be really fucking big. Let's be honest. And maybe it's not cool to go up to someone and be like, you're fucking fat, haha, and stuff like that. Obviously, it's not cool to be a dick to someone because of their weight and stuff like that. It's a bit of a dick move just to go up to someone randomly who's just fucking existing and to point out their obesity in any way, even if it's not necessarily as an insult or whatever. It might be a bit rude. But I would say that, yeah, it is pretty accurate.
Not cool. I like to think of this example with acne.
Right. How are you going to think of it?
So I've struggled with acne for a long
Right, go on then.
time. It's better now because I'm on some different medication and it's finally working. Yay.
That's good.
People could just say, oh, well, you don't take care of your skin.
But again, it's still down to context, like I was saying. Acne can come about because of many different things. Acne can come about because of your health or your diet, for example. Acne could come about because of hormones. Acne could come out because of your skin type. Stuff like that. There's all sorts of different shit that goes into it. You know, acne can come about because you get sores when you shave and stuff like that. Mine's getting a bit better as well, which is fucking great. And I know that she's probably going to use that as an example to try and say that everyone's body's different, kind of like how everyone's skin's different and stuff like that. Yes, we all know by now, everyone's body is different. We all know that. But it doesn't mean that someone who's fucking 400 pounds is still healthy. You can't look at someone who's 400 pounds and call that healthy.
That's why you have acne, right? And that's what people do with body size too. And I'm like, dude.
Oh, she wasn't saying that then. But yeah, it's because they are unhealthy because they are obese. That is how it works. If you are obese or morbidly obese, you are unhealthy. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It's just how it is. It's not controversial to say that. It really fucking isn't controversial to say that. It's like saying a car with a fucking fourth wheel missing isn't going to drive as well as a car with four wheels, you know? A three-wheeled car isn't going to drive as well as a four-wheeled car. It's fucking true though, isn't it? Because it's going to be lopsided and it's going to be scraping across the fucking floor. It's not going to function as well. Let's be fucking for real. Seeing as though a lot of obese people, especially like fat acceptance people and that, like to compare their bodies to like a fucking flesh suit. They're like, I'm living in a larger body, instead of just saying, you know, fucking fat in it. You know, I'm living in a larger body. Like they're fucking, like they're piloting a mech flesh suit, like they're an Evangelion or some shit. They're piloting EVA fucking Unit 1. You know, they're being put in the plug suit or whatever the fuck. You know, a lot of people like to compare their bodies to like vehicles or whatever, so why not use the example of the car? A fucking three-wheeled car is going to be lopsided, it's not going to function as well, and it's not going to be as healthy because it's going to use a lot more fuel to push it along. And it's going to be fucking itself up with each and every movement because of how heavy it is on one side. It's the same with being obese. You're using a lot more fuel just to plod along your daily life. And also, you're going to be heavy on your joints and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot more strain on your body, like it is a lot more strain on the vehicle with less tires. It's just how it works, right?
Do not know that I've been to all of these appointments. I've tried all these different things. There's genetics.
But again, people keep using the fucking genetics thing and the hormones thing when it comes to weight loss, but there are fucking ways about this. But I'm probably genetically prone to having like fat genes or whatever the fuck, to storing fat cells and being obese and stuff like that, because my family have never been the healthiest. I look back at my family tree, none of them have been like particularly athletic or anything like that, but I have made the fucking change for myself. I have lost weight and I'm getting into a more fit kind of shape on average, and it's nothing to do with my fucking genetics, because I could sit here and complain about my genetics all day long. I could sit here and complain about how my grandparents or my great-great-grandparents were obese and they had all these fucking problems, and weight loss is hard for me because of stuff like that. But I haven't sat here and done that. Do you know why? Because I fucking lost the weight. Hormones, yes, that can play a big problem. If you're like a man with low testosterone and stuff like that, it can massively affect weight loss, shit like that. 100%. I will agree with that completely. But again, it doesn't make it impossible and stuff like that. It doesn't make it fucking impossible to lose weight. It just makes it harder.
There's hormones. There are so many factors outside of my control. Yes, same is true with body size.
Not really. Yes, there are a lot of factors with your body that are outside your control, but if you're obese, you're still unhealthy, and etc, etc. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. I'm not sorry. Just because there are things, again, out of your control with your body doesn't mean weight loss isn't possible. I've even had so many people in my comments who have like, oh, I've had fucking PCOS, I've had thyroid issues, I've had this and that, I've had fucking lymphedema and stuff like that, but I've still lost weight. I've still, taken GLP-1s, I've still watched my diet, I've still exercised and stuff like that. I've lost the weight and I'm at a healthier weight and stuff like that. It is possible. So don't sit here and try and say, oh, but my hormones or my genetics, I can't fucking do it.
Guys too, and it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or not taking.
But you're not taking care of yourself if you're 400 pounds. You are doing something wrong because you're 400 pounds. I'm sorry, but it's just fucking true. And I'm sorry for saying I'm sorry about it, because I'm not sorry. It's just fucking true. If you are 400 pounds, you are doing something wrong and you're not taking care of yourself. Let's be for real. Let's not sugarcoat this. Okay, I'm not trying to be a dick to anyone. I'm not trying to hate on anyone. I do not hate anyone who's obese or anything like that, but let's be so fucking for real right now.
So let's just stop making these assumptions about people and rather.
But it's not really an assumption, really, though, is it? It's just kind of a straight up fact. If you're massively overweight, you're not healthy. It's not assuming anything. It's just kind of like observing that black is black and fucking blue is blue and the grass is green and everything like that, you know?
Just know you can't tell anything about someone's health just by looking at the size of their body.
But you kind of can. You could tell that someone's not healthy by looking at the fact that they can't even fucking walk by themselves because they're 500 pounds. Yeah, I mean, those were some interesting videos. I've done a lot of ranting. Hopefully a lot of it made sense. I'm probably going to be a bit more like kind of ratty and a bit more like less coherent because I'm a bit ill. But I wanted to still get a video out there. I still wanted to react to some of these things and share my opinions and stuff on it, even if I'm a bit more kind of, I guess, short fused because of the illness or whatever. But, you know, I thought I'd give it a go anyway, so hopefully it doesn't turn out too bad. Hopefully you're all gonna fucking hate it. I must apologise, I've been a bit sniffly and snotty and all that. I am getting better slowly, but you know, it's not the nicest thing to look at or hear or anything like that. But yeah, anyway, I completely disagreed with a lot of those clips. Yes, there are some things here and there which I agree with, but that's not necessarily anything to do with like health at every size and everything, just to do with, for example, the whole stuff with the doctors treating you disrespectfully just because you're overweight. Obviously, that's not right. We can all agree with that. That I think a lot of people who are overweight generally should listen to a lot of doctors when they say, yes, it could be because of your weight. Maybe you should try losing weight. In the meantime, we'll put you on this medication or whatever. And then if you lose weight and your problems improve, I'm not saying they'll get outright cured or anything like that, but if they improve, then, you know, it's because it was induced by obesity and stuff like that. You know, there are good in-betweens that can exist. But yeah, anyway, I think that's everything I have for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You look absolutely amazing today. You look a lot better than I do. I look like fucking dog shit today. And I feel like dog shit today. If you've made it all the way through, seeing as though we talked about doctors at one point, put like a little pill emoji, like a little tablet or something. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye and have a good day and everything like that.